The Bones and Bobbins podcast is now on Patreon. Would you like access to bonus episodes, digital extras, exclusive merch, and more? And join us in the Curiosity Shop at patreon.com/Bones and Bobbins.
Your generous support helps make the show happen and will earn you our very eternal gratitude and entry into our private Patreon-only Facebook group.
Woohoo! Filled with zero drama.
That's true. It is a no-drama situation.
'Tis indeed. Often filled with insomnia fights. Where I stumble across things and go, hey, if I have to witness this at 3:30 in the morning, I'm going to share it. Because,
Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
There's a lot of not sleeping that goes on amongst our friends.
In a dusty old shop on a forgotten old street, you'll find two witches with books 3 boxes deep. Next to rusty old needles and faded red thread, you'll come in for yarn, but leave with pigments instead. Whether poisons or patterns, we're always discreet, where creepy and crafty and morbidity meet. Welcome to the Bones and Bobbins podcast.
Hello, morbid makers. We are your slightly creepy,
Mildly disconcerting,
somewhat sinister,
delightfully discomposed,
opaquely odd,
merrily morbid,
marvelously misanthropic hosts.
And this is Bones and Bobbins, Season 6, Episode 1, Hauntings, locally speaking.
I'm Haley from Red Handled Scissors and the Very Serious Crafts podcast, and I go by she and her.
And I'm Natalie from Uber Dark Designs, an official true crime creative, and my pronouns are she and her.
Excellent. So, it's been a while.
Been a little bit. Hey, hi, hello. How you doing?
Exactly. I exist.
Existing is
I'm
my
quite
favorite.
pleased with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would not be okay if you did not exist. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, fair enough. I, too, would not be okay if I didn't exist.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, yeah, so, as many of our listeners have probably noticed, we've been on a hiatus. And that was, once again, a hiatus for my mental health because, well, let's just say that I remain on 5 antidepressants at the same time.
But also mental health matters and it's important. And we put that first before anything else.
Absolutely. Which is very nice because it makes me feel as though I can take the rest that I needed and come back and know that I'm ready to come back. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's, it's hard because we were like back and then I think that we were mostly not expecting what happened to happen. And then that like after elections, like I could, nope.
Yeah.
There was no, especially because we are a history podcast and we absolutely fall underneath every like tag and flag that they're trying to take down at the moment. And we don't sugarcoat shit. We stay on the right side of history. We are,
At least we try to.
yeah, we do very much so. And, but we're also open to be corrected, and learn from that. And we don't really, hold back on things. So,
No, we don't.
the way that I see it is I'm fairly certain I'm already on a list.
Oh, I'm on several. It's fine.
Just our research that we do alone. I mean, if there's a list out there, I'm sure that I'm on it. And I'm okay with that because, my offspring are of the age now where you almost have to worry about them sometimes more than me popping off. So, yeah, I'm all right.
I mean, they are definitely of the age of opinions.
Yeah, especially the opinions. And, one just got back after was it 7 weeks in Japan and a week in Korea.
Which is amazing.
It was amazing. I am so proud of them because they really they did the week in Korea on their own.
That's awesome.
Solo tripped that shit, and they have a touch of the tism, and there's certain this was so out of their comfort zone on so many things, and they did not only did they not skip a beat, but they spent the entire day going to museums and the aquarium and then clubbing all night with the friends the handful of friends they made the second they walked into the hostel they were staying at, which was
I would
called
expect
the
nothing
Time
less.
Travelers.
It was called what?
The Time Travelers Resort.
Hell yeah. Was it full of TARDISes?
No, I don't think so. But they actually have a manga room. You got to remember it's in Asia, and sometimes they don't translate things the same way. You know what I mean? It's different sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, it's a really cool place. And actually, the first instant bestie is from Italy, but staying there over the summer and working at a Latin club. And if you want to do an extended stay at the hostel, you can get it for free if you just volunteer a couple hours at the hostel.
That's cool.
It is very cool. Because I'm old, back in my days, hostels were you think of them and it's a basement with a flickering light bulb. It's not the comfiest thing. And now they're Airbnb shit.
I definitely did the hostel circuit in my younger days.
Yeah, they're amazing now. They're like Airbnbs. They're still super freaking affordable.
That's great.
So yeah, that's great. So now I have an international offspring that if shit hits the fan, they have passport to leave.
Hell yeah.
Go forth. So
indeed.
So, yeah. Indeed. So what is new with you?
Well, I have been doing something that I thought I never would do, which is vending at flea markets. So I've been doing that with my friend Monique, who used to own an oddities shop in town. And we've been doing sort of a combination antiques, oddities, and terrarium stand.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's been really fun. And I got a new tattoo when I was in New York a couple weeks ago.
I has not seen your tattoo.
Well, here, I'm going to hold it up. You can probably sort of see it, but it is a pigeon.
It's a pigeon, right?
It is a pigeon.
I love it.
Yep, and a pigeon for New York. And my best friend Melanie got another pigeon. So we have matching best friend pigeon tattoos. And hers is named Fiorello, as in LaGuardia.
Yeah.
And mine's name is Henry A. Train, I'm walking here. Or
I'm walking here.
Exactly. Or hey, I'm walking here. Because, H-A, hey. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
So yeah, and I also got some fancy new podcasting equipment that we are...
Yeah, you do. That shit's sexy.
Yeah, that we're trying out. And so if things sound weird, I'm sorry. It's almost certainly my fault.
And it's us.
Yeah.
Let's face it. We just sometimes... I'll blame it on Mercury in retrograde.
Oh, right. I forgot. Ooh, I have a question for you.
Ooh, yeah.
Speaking of... your offspring having been in Korea.
Yes.
I have become aware of this movie called K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, so good. So good.
Okay.
So good.
Which song has been stuck in your head forever? Because, oh my God, I have your idol.
It's not the Soda Pop song. It's, which one was it? I don't know. It switches because my offspring have... Yeah, it's so good.
All right.
Actually, that I have inadvertently dove into. Basically, I've not watched much of anything that's not Korean lately.
Sure.
And it started with me finally getting around to watching The Extraordinary Attorney Woo.
Ooh,
which
I'm unfamiliar.
That's the one I sent you on. I sent you the best friend intake and everything.
Oh, that's what that was.
She has, and she will tell you she's not autistic. She has autism spectrum disorder. Like and the way that they handle it is so fucking amazing, and it's handled better than anything I have ever seen here in the U.S. And we have a far larger population of people on the spectrum than Korea does. In fact, they even go on a little tangent about Asperger and call him out for who he is.
Oh yeah.
And it's also beautifully shot. It is touching. It is funny. It was just it hit so many wonderful notes. And then I was like, oh well, let me check out this one. And then it kind of took off from there. So I've been watching a lot, and it turns out that so on the Ron Swanson update, my cat just keeps getting weirder and weirder. And I think I figured it out.
Oh.
And I'm sure everybody's going to be like, you're a wackadoodle, and I don't care. But so he bounced around. He was in 4 different houses and in and out of the Humane Society for like months at a time within the first 4 years of his life. And I think that he has finally now like gotten to the point where he is so comfortable and know that he's not going to go in, like he is permanent home and everything. I think he's actually like healing his inner kitty.
Oh.
Because he's so kitten-like lately. He has taught the other cat how to meow into the fan. Like, they stick their face in. He will watch K-dramas with me. And at first I thought it was kind of funny. Like I thought it was like a fluky thing. And I text my offspring, who was actually, the one that was in Asia at the time. And I was like, Sir is sitting here full on watching this K-drama with me. And I'm fairly certain that he has all the same feels that I do. Because I'm 99% certain I saw a bitch no you didn't look across his face.
I love this for him.
They were like, I told you he would watch them with me, and I was like, and it does. And he also likes doenjang, not gochujang. It's the other one that is like almost like the Korean miso paste.
Oh, okay.
So now he's eating Korea and watching K-dramas with me, which is very fun. So in my first place out of the dorms in college, I had a really amazing roommate from Puerto Rico, Lizbeth. Mm-hmm. And her and I used to sit in the living room and watch telenovelas together because I took like 7 years of Spanish.
Yeah.
And, there's a joy in telenovelas, right?
Oh, absolutely.
There is, I gotta say that K-dramas, which I think it's kind of funny to call K-dramas, but not all of them are dramas, are on a whole another level. Like they most of the time it's not just a comedy or it's all of these genres like mixed in one. Like you get a full range of emotions and experiences through this entire series.
Totally.
And which is wonderful, and it helps me in the things that make me cry. I've cried at almost every one of them. I'm like, you people are killing me here. But then they make you laugh, and it's just really cool. So that's like the new comfort thing is, my Ron Swanson and I watch K-dramas and eat Korean.
Perfection.
And the other thing is the Great Big Tiny Design Challenge.
Yes. I still haven't become involved, but it's on my list.
I put a link in the show notes that has the entire series in one YouTube video.
Perfect.
But basically it is the British Bake Off of tiny house creation and decoration. So you're doing interior design, but you're also creating the things. And it does have actually one of the former hosts from the Great British Bake Off. But it is delightful because it's that wholesome, lovely Britishness. But also they make tiny things.
Is this doll houses or people houses? Tiny things.
Oh, this is dollhouses.
Okay. It could go either way.
I know. It's hard to, it's like a giant gothic dollhousey thing that, they have to do each room, and they have just challenges, and it'll be like, this room has to be Victorian and this room has to be this and it has to have a working water feature.
Like
craziness.
you do.
Yeah, electric, all hooked up and stuff. So
that's
very
fun. No, I definitely need to watch it because dollhouses are for sure on the list of things dollhouses are just going to happen to me at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when they will happen to me, but
they are also on my list.
Yeah.
As is, I would like to recreate the nutshell studies.
oh, did I tell you that my dad got me the book? Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Of course I did, because who else would I tell? But but yeah.
I would like to either recreate them or do ones that are similar, or
You should come visit me and we'll go to Harvard and try to see them.
oh,
I mean, I'm not sure if we can see them, but I feel like we can give it a real solid try.
I was gonna say, I think between the two of us, we could probably finagle our way in there.
Please. Oh my god.
Please let us have some murder in the nutshell variety.
Please, sir. May I have some murder? Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that is that's us. I could go back. There's a bazillion things in there, I'm sure, but instead of just doing a whole bulk update, it's just like, this is the current thing.
Yeah. Current thing is good. Well, it is really disgustingly hot here, and I'm going to jump in the pool after we finish recording. So that is my most current thing.
I'm going to turn my air stuff back on and not jump in a pool because we don't have a pool.
Fair enough.
So, hey, we would like to take a quick break to thank all of our fantastic and super supportive, and we're so grateful for Curiosity Shop members over on Patreon who have stuck with us. And a very special, totally normal and not a creepy welcome shout out would occur right here, right about now, exactly, on another podcast if you join us, because you get one, and it's fun.
It's true. And for those of you who are still around, which I think is most of you, which is amazing, you're the best. And we would totally go explore hidden old graveyards in the woods with you.
And it's mosquito season, so you know that means love.
Right? That is 100% a fact.
Indeed. Oh, and
La la la.
if you want in on all this fun, not only will you get some really great secret surprises, which I actually have, and I need to upload more, and I started uploading some of them as well. You will also get a huge backlog of Patreon-only episodes.
It's true.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot there. I mean, we go in depth. We go take some of our topics a little further. We get a little more personal. We get a little silly. There's some guests. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Join us.
Mm-hmm. Who wants to start with these spooky tales of local lore?
That is absolutely, positively up to you.
All right. Well, since I usually start, I guess I will start and say we all knew that was coming.
Yeah, and that's fine.
All right. Just for a little context here for the listeners, we decided that we were going to dive into some of our local legends for this episode, since we often talk about creepy things that happen elsewhere, but getting a little closer to home was kind of fun.
I found a whole new place.
Yeah, and I learned way more about a place that I already knew about that still requires a field trip in my future. So I am going to tell you the story of Madame Sherry's castle and its hauntings. Or Madame Sherry, I believe, is how we actually pronounce it.
Okay, every word in that is perfection.
Excellent. As many of you know, I live in the most southeastern corner of Vermont in Brattleboro, where only the Connecticut River separates my small town from the entire state of New Hampshire. And also, more importantly, the storied and purportedly haunted swath of woods called Madame Cherie Forest.
Ooh, she got a whole forest?
She does, in fact, have a whole forest, and it is officially named that. It's not just a colloquial sort of local thing. It's truly named that. And
That's it. I want my own haunted forest.
Right?
Goals.
Yeah. And as many of you also know, home for me is Brooklyn, New York. And as luck would have it, the many threads of this story span both my old stomping grounds and my newly adopted New England home. So that's kind of fun.
That is fun.
All right. So who was Madame Cherie? And it's a very interesting and complicated question. So Madame Cherie has been many people and has had many names and has had many lives.
Oh.
But she ended her life as Madame Cherie, and that seems to be the name that she most strongly identified with. But we're going to call her multiple other things and get to Madame Cherie as we reach that point in her story.
Oh.
So Madame Cherie was born Antoinette Brumaire in 1878 Paris. And at the same time, in a fit beginning to what would be a really interesting life, a corkscrew-shaped column of light, which was part of an ongoing astrological phenomenon, spent that same week hovering over the city's skyline.
Oh.
So, that's fun.
That is.
And Cherie would grow up to be both a seamstress and an actress. And she performed as Antoinette Delias as she danced on many of Paris's most fashionable stages at the time. And so we're going to call her Delias at this point, as that will be her name for a good chunk of this story. So Delias's personal life was anything but boring. In 1909, she met and married Anthony Macalusco, who was a vaudeville dancer, and he was also more than a decade her junior. And yes, well, at the time, he was traveling under the pseudonym Andre Relia. And she would have been in her early 30s at this point. And if my math is correct, I believe that Relia, I don't know. I wish that I had actual pronunciation guides to this. I'm going to go with Relia. I believe Relia was 16 when they married.
Oh, do not get it. Do not get it.
Right.
Oh, no.
The tabloids and the truth are a bit blurry on the subject due to future secrets and scandals. So that's as good as I can figure using other dates that I know to be true.
Gotcha.
Yep. And so let's see. Unlike Antoinette Delias, his pseudonym wasn't part of stage life. Macaluso was actually an American expat who had fled to Europe after being entangled in a blackmailing case, like you do, back in the United States. He had escaped a detective's custody in New York and had absconded to Paris.
That's exciting.
And it's actually somewhat unclear whether Macaluso was actually guilty of any crime at all, but his life was threatened and bribes were made to local police by a corrupt lawyer. And so he was on the run nonetheless. All right. Now, the Reliases are going to come back to the USA at this point. So Anthony Macaluso might not have chosen the name Andre Relia specifically for the stage, but he was about to find himself playing quite the dramatic role.
Okay.
Yes. In 1911, just before her sister ship, the Titanic, would capture headlines across the globe, the couple arrived in port in New York on the ocean liner, the Oceanic. Moments after the ship's arrival, faux family drama ensued. Now, the details of how their tabloid-grabbing performance art was actually planned and set up seem largely lost to time. But the story that unfolded was this. An Italian diplomatic family arrived at the ship's dock to greet their son, Andre Relia, who was returning from a trip to Paris. But to their dismay, it would turn out that he had brought more than luggage home with him. On his arm was his new wife, singer and actress Antoinette Delias. And this caused quite a stir.
I bet.
Yes. Upset, as they had apparently already secured an American girl for him to marry, upon seeing their son's much older wife, now keep in mind he's 18 at this point, the Italian diplomat and his wife created quite the fuss within the hearing of local reporters who were often mingling around the ships because, drama. It happened a lot, and there was always something to add to the society pages about. So they screamed and wailed about what he had done. And later, the same reporters who had experienced this kerfuffle would later follow up with Relia, who would react with confusion about why bringing his wife home for the holidays had caused such an uproar.
I wonder why.
Yeah. And while the story was excellent newspaper society column fodder, it was also wildly and nearly completely untrue. The whole scene was set up as a ruse to continue hiding Macaluso's identity as a wanted man. So basically, he wanted to come back to the United States, but he was wanted in New York City. So...
yeah, make it a little difficult.
yeah, so they somehow managed to get a group of people to play his family and pretend that they were diplomats. And because it was really hard to actually know who was doing what and what was real, the newspaper just believed him. And so multiple articles that would fashion him as the sort of fancy son of a diplomat continued to come out.
That's actually kind of a brilliant idea.
Right.
Like, it's in some ways I'm like, that's amazing. Like, especially if you're gonna have like paparazzi and stuff come after you to like have things planned out and control the situation on your terms like that to such an extent is it's kind of fun.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's unclear how long the couple upheld their facade as the wayward son of a diplomat and his wife. We do, however, know that they settled into the theater scene in New York with Delias as a singer and actor. And why can I not pronounce his name? Oh, my God.
Really?
Yes, Miss Relia. Wow. Let me start that over again. It's unclear how long the couple upheld their facade as the wayward son of a diplomat and his wife. We do, however, know that they settled into the theater scene in New York with Delias as a singer and actor, and Relia as a dancer. Only rumors remain about where they actually got the money to lead the lifestyle they were leading. But those rumors included whispers of wild nights in Monte Carlo and of mob connections that couldn't be confirmed by historians. Though a trail of debts in both their own names and under the name of the company they would eventually found can be traced throughout the years. So maybe it was sort of a just jumping from one debt to another sort of situation.
Yeah. Although I do love a good mob connection.
Oh, exactly. And there may well have been one. Unclear. So regardless of any continued diplomatic posing or rumors of ill-gotten gains, scams were definitely still on the table for this somewhat sketchy couple.
Just a little sketchy.
So Relia was arrested upon being recognized as Macaluso by detectives who were responding to claims that expensive jewels had been stolen from the couple's apartment. So basically, in what was probably a scam, they called the police themselves to report this crime. But because the crime involved a diplomat's son and so much money, the higher-ups...
Yeah, they did not think that through.
No, the higher-ups were the ones who were responding to this. And it turns out that Macaluso was recognized and arrested, and then, while in custody, for his part, he regaled detectives with stories from his time in Paris, complete with gambling wins and claims that he started a dance craze. And so
nice.
Relia spent a couple of nights in the tombs, but never ended up actually being charged with a crime. So upon being bailed out, Relia and Delias decided that yet another set of new names and another new life was in order. So
at that time, that shit was easy to do.
Oh, so
Just
easy.
Reinvent yourself like that.
And
that would be fun to do.
Yeah, and it seems like this time they actually went about it legally. So here's where Madame Cherie actually enters the scene. So they dubbed themselves Mr. Andre and Madame Antoinette Cherie and built new lives as Broadway costume designers.
All right.
Apparently, Delias didn't think their existing pseudonyms would look good on a sign, which is why they changed their name to what they did. So while searching for a name that would work, she discovered the play Madame Cherie by Otto Auerbach, and she obviously liked the name. And that is what we still know her by today. So with her new name at the ready, on November 10th, 1916, she visited the New York Registry and opened a business called Andre Cherie. And both Andre and Antoinette changed their surnames to Cherie and soon started going exclusively by the name Madame Cherie. That is, she did. He did not. I mean, maybe he did. I don't know. But probably not. Because of course she would. It's a great name.
Yeah, it is.
The Cheries were successful in the costuming field because, remember, she was trained as a seamstress before she went on to acting in Paris. So she actually had the skills to be able to open this Broadway costuming shop. And even though they were actually quite successful, they remained perpetually in debt and were followed by a shadow of a bit of bad luck. As they grew more successful, they brought Charles Lamourie, an actor who wanted to learn costume design, into the business. And in 1916, in sort of part of their run of bad luck, there was a girl that they had taken in and raised. She was removed from their custody. They never had children of their own, and I can't really find out why. The child was removed from their custody and put in custody of the local church. But that did happen. Wow. I suspect maybe it was that they were out partying and were running within the theater world, which was seen as not quite proper. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I would think not.
Yeah. And then in 1917, Andre was hit by a car and sustained permanent damage to his leg, which ended his dancing career. And so after his injury in the following years, he began to lose vision and then suffered from what he himself thought of as insanity. Though multiple sources give differing assumptions as to what was going on. I haven't been able to find a primary source that was sure, but that insanity and blindness may have come as a result of venereal disease, specifically syphilis. But we're not really sure. And he died in the institution in 1924. He was only 31 years old when he died.
Wow. Oh, that's kind of sad.
It is. And Lamourie took over as president of the Andre Cherie Company in 1919, and it continued to be successful. At a loss as to what to do after Andre's death, Madame Cherie purchased property in West Chesterfield, New Hampshire, where she began construction on an opulent mansion.
Okay, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I guess she needed to get out of the city, and getting out of the city meant coming to literally across the river from where I'm currently sitting. So that's fun.
If you're going to be a grieving widow, you might as well be a grieving widow in a mansion.
Yeah, in the middle of the woods. And this was specifically a party mansion. So
nice.
Yeah. So construction was an adventure. Local handyman Paul Welcome oversaw construction, and stone cutters were brought in from Fitchburg, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Which, you know, they were very fancy.
Very fancy.
Very fancy. The complication was Madame Cherie didn't actually have blueprints for this mansion at all. She just sort of wandered around putting down pegs where she thought each part of the mansion should and would be. And the workers...
She related to the Winchester Mystery House lady?
Right? And the workers were kind of perplexed by this because they were used to having blueprints to build
that's
something.
not how it's supposed to work.
Exactly. Yeah. But somehow they made it work. And the building was described in an article from newengland.com as like this. The house looked like a cross between a Roman ruin and a French chalet. In the cellar, there was a cozy little bistro with half a dozen tables draped with red cloths. The main floor was a huge bar, which one entered between two huge trees growing up through the roof. The third floor held Cherie's private quarters, accessible by a huge stone staircase that ran up the side of the house. Now,
I like it.
yeah. And so here's where my town comes in, because Madame Cherie spent an awful lot of time in Brattleboro. So this quote from Lauren Harkowick from Narratively really captures the scene, and I linked to her full article in the show notes, which is quite good. It's probably the most detailed but not sordid stories of Madame Cherie that I found.
Gotcha.
So she really captured the scene here. Quote, Madame Cherie gained a reputation as a curious figure in West Chesterfield and the neighboring town of Brattleboro, Vermont. A monkey sat on her shoulder as she was chauffeured up Main Street in her cream-colored Packard to transport her friends to her party house. And this is me throwing this in there. This is not part of the quote. But she bought this cream-colored Packard from the State Department. There is no additional context.
That's kind of funny.
Right.
Also, I want a monkey.
Right. And so, continuing the quote, archives from the Brattleboro Reformer, which is still our local paper,
I love it.
note that the locals reported that she often donned a fur coat with nothing underneath and carried rolls of cash in her bosom or a purse strapped to her thigh. Her mansion was fit for the roaring 20s and then some. Well, the street where Madame Cherie's castle was located didn't have electricity in the 1920s. She had the house wired specially so that she could host parties there. She also had it outfitted with a champagne tap, a trunk filled with chocolate bars and wine, and a tree that grew straight up through the ceiling of the main party room. So,
We need a party with her.
right? Speaking
I like her
of,
style.
speaking of, I did try to find links between the people who lived in my home, because my house is a 1848 mansion. So these society columns definitely talked about my house. But I could not find any links between the people who lived here and Madame Cherie in the society pages of the Reformer. But
Boo.
alas, that doesn't mean it didn't happen, but perhaps Madame Cherie's parties were a little too wild for whatever was going on in my house at the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, as you might expect, the parties at the castle were things of legend, but they couldn't last forever. See, after her husband died, Madame Cherie's lifestyle, including her castle and its parties, were funded by Les Marie. And following World War II, all of that seemed to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Also from Laura Harkowick's article, quote, I was Madame Cherie's protege, later her protector, and finally she became my ward, Les Marie revealed in a letter to Chesterfield historian Glenda Leonard after Madame Cherie's death. I paid for all of the land in West Chesterfield and the building of the stone house. Her supposed wealth was always my money, and the past she talked of changed with each telling. She had not been well for many years and lived kind of a folie de grandeur, delusions of grandeur, state of mind. So, I mean, that isn't necessarily surprising given her path. But
I just think it's funny that she refers this mansion as a stone house.
yes. Well, it kind of was. I'll put up photos in our Instagram. So the stone portions of the house are still there, and only the stone portions. So you can actually still go to the party house. Yeah. So in the final years of Madame Cherie's life, as the checks that had funded her for so long no longer arrived, she fell into poverty, and she would end up living on public assistance in Brattleboro, where her once grand party house fell into disrepair. In 1959, the house was vandalized, and she never returned after seeing the damage that had been done. Quoting an article Quoting an article from NewEngland.com, when she came back to the castle in the spring of 1959, she was horrified. The house had been completely trashed. Her priceless porcelain had been used as target practice. The local high school kids had made off with her cobra-backed chair for use in their junior prom, and the front door had been ripped off, utilized as a car jack. Yeah.
That's devastating.
Sherry ran from room to room, screaming in French and English. "This was our love nest," she howled before fleeing from the house. She was never she was never to enter it again.
Yeah. I could see. Totally understandable.
Yep. In 1962, the castle burned down, leaving only the stone staircase and arches that can still be seen today. Madame Cherie lived out her remaining years in Brattleboro at a poorhouse, dying in 1965.
Oh,
yep.
That's sad.
It is.
That's like some little Edie tragedy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of that. And so now for the legends that sort of come with a property like this, this land is public property. And so...
Oh.
Yeah, so you can go. The land was turned over to the state of New Hampshire and their forest conservation. And so all of the acreage that she had is now Madame Cherie Forest. And
I like that.
Yeah, and the castle itself, though you can only see the staircase and the arches, and I believe the tallest arch fell maybe last year or the year before. There are still the foundations of the castle and also the fireplace to be seen because all of that was stone. And so people can go and explore. And according to Enchanted New England, quote, "Many people tell stories about the woods surrounding Madame Cherie's castle being haunted. Some visitors report seeing the apparition of the eccentric woman at the top of the staircase. Others claim to hear the sounds of laughter and music emanating from the rubble as if no time has passed at all. And the ruins are alive with Madame Cherie and her lavish parties, but they are just out of reach."
Oh, I love that.
Yep. So that is the story of Madame Cherie and her haunted castle in the woods directly across from Brattleboro, the town where I live.
I bet you that would be an absolutely fucking amazing place to do a photo shoot at.
Oh, there are so many gorgeous photo shoots that have happened there. Lots of wedding photo shoots. It's sort of the local haunted must-see for all the goth kids.
Because, Oh, it sucks. I wish that there was a way that we could extract memories from walls and stone. You know what I mean?
Well,
I wish that it...
I mean, I kind of can.
True. There you go. Get on it. I want a picture.
I haven't been out there yet. But I feel like... I don't know. It seems like maybe dowsing rods are the answer for going out there and asking some questions. I'm not sure. I don't know why that seems right, but it does.
You always go with your gut. It feels right. It feels right.
Exactly. And so, yeah, it's definitely on my list of places to go. And a friend of mine who is also sort of interested in the spookier parts of life wants to take a field trip out there. So I think we're going to go.
I want to hear all the details.
Yes. Well, yeah. So that's my story.
It's a good story.
Thank you.
It's a very good story. Let me see. Let me pull my tab out here. Mine is not nearly as glamorous. But okay. It is interesting. Let me get it open. Bloop. Okay, so I was a little bit worried when we landed on the topic because, like, I personally have covered my hometown haunting, which is Mary Booth Road,
right?
And Whitewater, which is otherwise known as Second Salem.
Yep.
And I also didn't want to go for like the typical spots that are on like every haunted Wisconsin site, and have been like over covered and stuff.
Oh yeah, I fully dove into that with mine.
Yeah, I thought about doing the Pfister Hotel, but then I found through my research a town that Stefan would deem the hottest town of the week. It's got everything from there's cult action, there's religion, of course, there's a body that allegedly does not want to decompose, there's magic, and there's hauntings.
Well.
Like, it's got it all. So today I am talking about the booming metropolis of St. Nazianz, Wisconsin. Population 718. That's only counting the living.
Oh, it's tiny.
Tiny. And I have to go. But I'm going to start us out in Germany, which isn't like all that surprising when you consider that currently 40.5% of Wisconsin residents claim to be German American.
Right.
Huge. I think we're second only to I want to say something weird like North Carolina.
Oh, that's weird. I would have thought Minnesota.
Right? No, it's not Minnesota.
Oh.
So the town Mundelfingen in Fürstenberg. The date is March 14th, 1801, and on that day, some very unfortunate woman gave birth to Ambrose Archwald and his rather giant frickin' forehead. I put a picture in the show notes. That forehead, man, the head is not small either. I just thought ouch when I looked at it. So Ambrose's father's name was Matthias, and he was a devout Catholic, and he ran a mill. In the late adolescent years, Ambrose decided to answer the calling that he felt to serve his church. In 1833, after 2 years of seminary training, he was ordained a Catholic priest. You know how I love my Catholics.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy I like.
All right.
The central theme of his gospel message to his parishioners was to love one's neighbor. And it was he had this huge compassion for the unfortunate, and was also very charismatic, which you have to be when you're going to start a cult, right?
Right.
He continually brought all the Catholics to the yard.
And
it brought him.
My Bible is mine, and I. No, I don't know, man.
Our wine is better than yours.
Yeah.
While it brought them to his yard would end up changing repeatedly.
I could priest you, but I'd have to charge. Sorry. I'm done.
I mean, that's Catholic, though. I can absolve you. Write me a check. So Catholics are not fond of being questioned, and our big four-headed buddy just would not stop questioning the hierarchy of the church itself.
I mean, fair enough.
And was constantly being transferred from parish to parish. Essentially, the church's issues with Father Oschwald were pretty much threefold. Number one, Oschwald believed that he possessed special powers to heal the sick.
Oh.
Now, it should be noted that his family were huge practitioners of homeopathic cures.
Okay.
And he showed early interest in plants and herbs that were said to heal illness. But he did also read, like, biblical accounts of, like, people being restored back to, quote, health, through fervent prayer, the laying of hands, exorcism, and all that. But each healing that he gave, he did give the glory to the big guy for giving him the gift, so he wasn't, like, ungrateful about it. But in 1843, Oswald openly declared that he had healed 3,160 people.
Well, hot damn.
Right? And, this kind of not only angered the church, but in one community, local doctors called him a quack and demanded both a civil and church investigation on him.
Oh, no.
After a careful inquiry, he was found innocent of any wrongdoing. But yeah, he's not, and that's just number one. Okay, so that's number one. So number two, the second issue, the freaking the church out was kind of concerning his belief in mysticism. More pointedly, his conviction that he had a special relationship with God and could interpret dreams and visions and see into the future. Now, here's the thing. If he's a priest, he's supposed to have a special relationship with God. And the Catholics, in fact, such a special relationship that, us peasants aren't supposed to talk to God.
Right.
We're supposed to go to the priest, and the priest goes to God.
Right.
So, like, that doesn't... But I guess the dreams and visions are the things that he had an issue with. They had an issue with. Even more so when in 1849 he published a book entitled Mystische Schriften, which translates into mystical writings.
Yes.
In which he predicted the second coming of Christ at the turn of century. Kind of wrong on that. And the establishment of a New Jerusalem in southwestern Germany.
Oh.
Quite the opposite.
I was to say that did not go well.
This would also be followed by thousand years of peace throughout the world. Again, not so much.
Yikes. Religious
authorities lost their shit. They called the book heretical and, quote, a hodgepodge of nonsense. And at this point, some people started kind of questioning Oswald's mental stability.
Fair.
And so, yeah, they full-lipped hard. So he, pinky swore he wouldn't publish any more books. He's like, fine, that's cool. I won't write any more books. Just, But the third and final strike occurred in 1850 when our rebellious priest founded a society called, you're gonna cringe. Okay, Der Geistlich Magnetische Verein, which is Spiritual Magnetic Society.
It was closer than you think it was.
Whew, thank you. Mm-hmm. I mean, I took German in middle school, so it's been a long time. The Archbishop was like, so you maybe just decided to start a cult? And he composed a letter to each of the diocesan churches warning parishioners of Oswald's ideas, and he then was like, hey, I'm gonna maybe take you out of this whole parish thing. Like, you no longer have a parish, and we're gonna maybe limit your little priestly duties down some.
Oh yeah, like you do.
Because we have told you thrice, sir. Thrice. So in 1852, Oswald retreated to Munich, where he started studying medicine, and then he returned back 2 years later to let the archdiocese know that he was like, hey, this has been fun. You can have your priesthood back. I'm going to some medicine. And they were like, oh, okay, that's cool, because we didn't want you to stick around anyway. But at the end of the, May 1854, Oswald grabbed, 113 of his favorite, followers and was like, hey, let's peace out of here, and maybe go to, I don't know, Wisconsin.
Oh.
So they boarded 2 ships. They landed in New York and then journeyed on to Milwaukee, where Oswald used their pooled resources to purchase 3,840 acres of land in Manitowoc County.
Oh, okay.
Which is not even close to Milwaukee, I'm just saying. It's not like it's a suburb. I just think that's kind of funny. But they christened their yet unseen village, before they even got there. Because he sent, 6 people ahead. He bought this, this giant chunk of land, sight unseen. He had sent, 6 dudes out there ahead of time to, check it out. But yeah, so they named it Saint Nazianz after Saint Gregory of Nazianz, who centuries earlier had retreated into a contemplative life, which is what they intended to do.
Well, all right.
Right. So the colonizers / settlers began going by the name The Association and shared everything in common and work without pay. So, like, it was, just basically a giant freaking commune.
But the association sounds so sinister.
Right?
It sounds
so
like
sinister.
a group of villains from Buffy.
Right? Like, or they're going to be like, forget about it. They're going to run rum for, Al Capone.
Mm-hmm.
But they were basically, like, imitating the first Christian, like, utopians, kind of life that was depicted in the Acts of the Apostles. And this arrangement lasted until 1896. The association built, like, shops and mills, and the community was, like, frickin' thriving. And this was just a few years after its start.
Nice.
People began learning and practicing many trades like blacksmithing, carpentry, masonry, shoemaking, woodworking, tailoring, barrel making, rope making, tanning, weaving, brick making, baking, brewing, and others.
So they have a society.
Right, and they learned this shit before they even moved. And then that's why he studied medicine at University of Munich, because he wanted to serve as both the spiritual guide and the healer of bodies for the community.
I have been to the University of Munich. I have stayed in their dorms.
That's amazing. So this little cult was, like, actually thriving. Like, you call it a cult, but, like, it was just a peaceful little. It was basically a little hippie commune, is what it was.
Yes,
but they just, they did have the backbone of religion in there, but not in any way that was but not in a Catholic way. Like, it was, and like, I could go even deeper on, like, the members, the structure, etc. But, like, I wanted to, like, get to, like, start the weird and spooky part.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't even get into, like, most of the weird and spooky parts. So I don't know that I did this one all that good, but I will beef it up more later. And I'm including some great stuff to, like, go and read.
Okay.
So every cult has a breaking point, I mean, even if it's a good one.
Right.
And theirs was the death of Father Oswald on February 27th, 1873. So, on his deathbed, Father Oswald designated Peter Moots as his spiritual successor. Originally, he was a Lutheran. And Moots was living in, like, poverty when Oswald invited him to their little lovely association. And, he fed and clothed him. And later, having studied for the priesthood, he was serving a congregation in Schlesingerville, which is now Slinger, which I have been to a bajillion times, when Oswald died. He was mild-mannered, yet very determined. And he's often viewed, because even though he's determined, his weakness, he's also, his mild-manneredness has always kind of associated him as being, like, a weak leader. But maybe this is not the case, because when he returned back to St. Nazianz, he proposed a change that, like, split the community into factions, like, shattered shit. He wanted the colony to abandon the use of the breviary, which was a strict measurement of daily prayers and devotions around which the day's schedule revolved. Oswald had found in the breviary that not only was it, a religious regimen, but it was also a handy tool to keep the operation of the colony under control.
Yeah.
So by, like, hey, let's not do this thing, it escalated to issues concerning land, ownership, incorporation of the colony, debt payment, collection of outstanding loans, and court challenges. Like, shit went crazy.
My goodness.
Just absolute crazy. The death of Oswald caused a different kind of chaos as well, like the actual act of his death. In fact, many believe that it cursed the town. So, a man named Anton Still stayed with Oswald while he was sick, comforting the dying man by his bedside. And during that time, he often observed Oswald gesturing to invisible guests.
Sure,
A
that's
number
kind
of
of normal.
times, I mean, right? Like I told my mom that my grandma was going to have it out with God before she died, and she spent most of the day, the last day on Earth, shaking her fist at the ceiling and cussing in German.
Well,
Like you do.
Yeah.
A number of times, Still wrote, I have observed that he, with closed eyes, when there is no one else in the room but I alone, would extend his hands in a blessing, then with his hand signal somebody away, yet I saw no one in the room. And I was like, that's probably just like, I mean, it seems like a normal thing for a dying priest in my head, but, you know, I could be wrong. I did not witness it. But throughout the night of February 26th, as Oswald lay dying, there were reports of mysterious poundings on the wall of his room, and as well as the residences through town. And the sound stopped when Oswald died the following morning.
interesting.
Yeah. And then the oddness didn't stop there either. So a judge came to view Oswald's body the day before the funeral, and was so shaken by the liveliness of the corpse that he started to demand that it not be buried and insist that he was still alive. Oswald's tomb had not yet been complete, so his coffin was placed on view in a crypt beneath the high altar of the old St. Ambrose Church. The coffin was then reopened on April 29th for examination before it was placed in the completed chamber. Father Moots, along with a group of the Oswald sisters, which was nuns, noticed that his body had not yet decayed. And there was no odor of corruption at all. Nothing, he didn't smell. His eyes had sunken in, and his skin had his skin had a lifelike complexion. His hair and fingernails are still growing, which is a normal thing.
Right.
They washed his face and noted that it served to give him an even more natural complexion. The next day, which was 63 days after his death, Oswald was finally sealed in his coffin and moved into the completed burial vault. So that's 62 days after this guy died, that he still looks and doesn't smell and all that.
That's
so the
a
coffin
long time. What time of year was this?
This was February, so that could be
Okay.
part of it. I mean, obviously, because, Wisconsin.
Yeah, but that's still a long time.
Freezing tundra. Right? The coffin was opened again then on October 4th, 1926, when it was being moved into a new stone mausoleum below Loretta Hill. Local health officer Dr. L.W. Gregory, as well as other members of the clergy, observed through the glass cover of the coffin that Oswald's corpse was still in remarkably good shape after 53 years. And I have photos. While his skin had become shriveled and sallow, his body and vestments were still completely intact. The iron in his coffin had rusted and fallen away, but his body, not so much. And he remains in the mausoleum at the base of the hill, overlooking a cemetery that's full of other priests. Now, the town itself has vast number of haunted buildings, a lot of abandoned buildings and buildings that are in various just disarray, which there can't be that many because it's small, but I'm definitely going to go check it out the next time that we are down to visit my parental units. In a Cult of Weird article by Charlie Hintz, he states the town of St. Nazans is believed to be one of the most haunted places in Wisconsin. It was founded by a rogue priest who, upon his death, is believed to have cursed the town that he built. Throughout the years, natural disasters and numerous accounts of bizarre, unexplained phenomena have helped keep the legend alive. And those are the things that I need to go look up and pull out and add to the show notes and add into stuff that you can read.
Yeah.
The one major thing is the old Salvatorian Seminary, which is now known as the JFK Prep. It's this huge abandoned building, and it looks like every bit of an abandoned seminary, academy for kids. Just it looks the part. It is, and it's rumored to be haunted by the tortured souls of kids who suffered at the hands of the abusive nuns there. Once a Salvation Seminary, it was turned into a 4-year school for boys who wanted to become priests, and was renamed to JFK Prep. It was reopened as JFK Prep Academy in the 70s, but once again shut down in the early 80s due to lack of funds. And the property has laid dormant ever since. So people have not, I mean, people will go there, but it's not been anything.
So why do they think he cursed it?
So, like, all this stuff started happening after he died.
Well, right, but I mean, why would he curse it?
I think, so, the theory seems to be, is, I don't know that it's more as cursing or his outrage over, like, the second he goes, all of his hard work is, like, just shot to shit. And it turns into, like, you know, everybody getting greedy and wanting to, like, you know, divvy up land, and it was such turmoil, and that balance and loveliness that he created was just shed.
That makes sense.
In my eyes, it was probably his version of, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I did all this hard work, and did you learn nothing? Did you learn nothing?
Right.
Another theory about JFK prep, like one of the hauntings, is that they believe that a student that committed suicide there unalived themselves, I suppose is probably a better way of phrasing that. It is said that you can supposedly hear students laughing in the school hallways, which is credited to residual energy from all the kids that have just passed through there.
Sure.
Ghost hunters who explored the grounds a few years ago did confirm that a student unalived themselves in the dorms, and they were even shown the suicide note as confirmation. So, that is a short version, but of a crazy but amazing place I did not know even existed.
That's fascinating.
When I saw the whole, like, it's a heretic priest, I was like, oh, and great, fucking Catholics again. But I was like,
utopian cult.
Where I was like, hold on, this guy was like into, like, natural medicine, and, like, yeah, he had the Jesus thing going on. He was rocking it with a Sky Daddy, but at the same time was like, hi, just love people. That
sort of reminds me of the Oneida cult.
Yeah, until the pedophilia creeped
yes.
in. Like, they had it. They were so close. So close.
Oh, so close.
So yeah, that's my little story about that. I think that brings us to our weekly
worst
way to die. I didn't put mine in there, but mine is for sure birthing something with that large of a forehead.
That's terrifying. And mine is, unsurprisingly, dying beneath a collapsing arch in an abandoned castle.
Oh, that would suck. On so many different levels.
Yep.
Oofta.
Yeah.
On that note, do you want to be spooky, internet friends? We are Bobbins and Bobbins on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
And don't...
not so much Twitter, but, like, I don't know, Threads, TikTok.
I don't think we're on
Sky.
Threads at this point.
I don't even know. We probably will be.
Definitely
I don't know.
Instagram.
Yes. I will crawl out of my hermit cave and be more participatory in the social medias.
Okay.
Which I have, like, disappeared. Like, I cannot.
Yeah.
But I will. Yeah, so join us.
Yes, do join us. And don't forget to rate and review this podcast because it pleases the internet gremlins, and that's how we show up in recommendations so that other morbid souls can find us.
Bring forth the morbid souls.
Yes.
And on that note, let us leave you with some advice that you should never, ever forget. Lock your doors.
And don't run with scissors.
Especially down giant stone staircases outside of a giant party mansion.
I mean, that might be the best place to do it, but also the worst place to do it.
I mean, I'm thinking kitty heel. Probably not kitty heels. Probably actual giant sexy heels. And there's a champagne tap. Like, that's gotta be
okay.
nuts. But then, up note, you could haunt those woods. You know?
You could.
I mean,
that would be a really solid way to make lemonade out of lemons.
it would indeed. It would indeed.
Oh my gosh. And on that note, Goodbye, listeners. We love you.
Okay, love you, bye! Each episode of the Bones and Bobbins podcast is written and researched by Haley Pearson-Cox and Natalie Hoyce. Our music was composed by Loyalty Freak Music. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Bones and Bobbins. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify, or check us out wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts so you won't miss a minute of our strange and creepy content.